and you can quote this on me. There is no way the Orioles or Red Sox make the playoffs this season. Yeah, yeah. There's no way. There's no way.
I set the bar really low at the NBA predictions.
I don't think all Mavs fans look into the stats like I do.
It's not the great value Target brand toilet paper or whatever. It's the Charmin Ultra Strong.
I don't know if Nick Nurse is the coach for the Raptors. I don't know if he's the reason why they won the 2019 championship. I feel like that was more of a team effort.
The Mavs cannot say we do not miss Seth Curry shooting threes.
This questions the firing of Dwayne Casey, who I think is a very underrated coach.
To me, the Capitals really pushed all their chips for this season.
Hello, I'm Mike Grimes, and you've been listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. I am Kevin, and I am joined by the man that has experience with this quarterback, Austin.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers has had really good games, really bad games this season. Last week against the Jaguars, Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers looked like they were back in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers has said that if he does return to football, his first choice by a mile is to stay with the Jets. He doesn't really want to leave. Now, if they don't want him back, then he's going to have, and he wants to play, he'll have to leave. But do you think the Jets are going to say, We'll go at it again? They've already committed a lot already to this. They've already fired coaches based on it. They've made other coaching decisions. They've made trades. They've made draft picks. What do you think happens?
I do think, I know he said he wants to stay with the Jets, but I think the only reason Rodgers wouldn't be with the Jets is he decides to leave or he retires. It's just, you mentioned they put a lot of stock into him. Just, you mentioned the coaching, the wide receivers as well, not just Devontae Adams. They had Lazard. They even had Randall Cobb at one point. So it's just, to me, the right move would to move on from him. But I think the Jets aren't operating at their best right now or thinking logically. So they're going to stick with Rodgers because you also think it gets the Jets, even in a terrible season, gets the Jets being talked about. And I don't see why they wouldn't bring him back given everything they've invested from him, even though it just hasn't worked offensively for them.
Yeah, I can see them panicking, and whether it's good or not, and deciding to move on. It is pretty crazy that a Zach Wilson-led Jets team ended up with a better record than an Aaron Rodgers one. And I know it was injuries and other stuff has happened. I mean, Rodgers is coming back from one of the worst injuries you can have in football. But it just feels different, and I don't really know if it is fixable. But I do think the Jets will try.
Try to bring him back or try to fix the situation?
Try to fix the situation. We'll see whether or not what that means. It could mean that hey, we're gonna move it a different way and just draft a QB. But I just don't think this QB class is good enough for them to decide to do that. So I do think they end up staying probably, but they're gonna look at it really hard because I do think that they realize that they had made a mistake thus far, and can we move on with Rodgers and have a chance to make the playoffs?
Yeah, you bring up a good point. And talking about last season, it was mostly a Zach Wilson team. There were injuries, but I would also argue you just had a coach. It was a coach leading, and there seemed to be system. There is so much coming out right now about just like the Jets' dysfunction. There is that, I haven't fully read the story, but there is that kind of comment. Well, it's more than a comment, but that detail of Woody Johnson not wanting to trade for Jerry Jeudy because of the Madden rating and just kind of that level involvement from the owner. So that's something that just stood out to me, and just they're not thinking logically, and it really kind of just that level of dysfunction, which I think was created by Rodgers getting rid of Saleh, and just kind of the whole, there's no leader right now. And no, I think the interim is just like a person there for the Jets because it really just is a player-led team, and I don't see that working in the NFL.
Yeah, I definitely think that we've seen a lot of problems with this organization, and if they don't change soon, I think that they could be in a very bad spot for the next decade. I mean, they've committed so much to this project that it not working out is a problem. And it's crazy because the Packers missed the playoffs, Rodgers, last year, right? And the Packers are in a significantly better spot than the Jets, not just for this season, which we knew that the future of the Jets probably was going to be worse than the Packers because they're going to give up so much to help this roster now. But even trying to help it now, it's still worse off than the Packers right now, and that was not to be expected after the Rodgers trade was made.
Yeah, and it was expected that'd be a few good years, then Rodgers would retire, but at least they make it to the playoffs, maybe win a playoff game. And I know I brought up player led teams. Tom Brady, to me, even though it was player led, he still understood the importance of structure and kind of having a coach at the helm. And to me, Rodgers doesn't really do that. And you can go back to the Packers because he did choose LaFleur, but LaFleur still had control. And you saw LaFleur's vision. And even though it's changed a little bit, and for the better, as I think the offense is still around the same, still doing well, just in different ways. That's something we don't see. Rodgers really has taken over that offense, and there's not that structure and there's not those ideas and kind of the balance of the game. Because I do remember you talked about coming off the injury for Rodgers. There was a point at the game where I think he threw 45 times, 40 times maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of games where he's thrown a lot.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at. It won't show me the attempts or what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at the attempts, trying to find it. Probably gonna guess in that. Yeah, I can't seem to find it, but I remember there was a lot, and just that's something you don't want to see from a quarterback coming off that injury, and just also in the run game helping you.
Yeah, it's just nothing can go right. Nothing can go
Yeah.
right, and they're gonna have to fix it. And I know Jets fans definitely feel helpless at the moment.
Yeah, and it's really hard just given kind of the hope and just how it hasn't worked out. And I just think the Jets are kind of cling on to that dream, even though I don't think really attainable. But I'll let you end this episode.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Please let us know what you guys think about the Jets. Can they fix it? Will Rodgers return? And how will their season end?